Kelly and Ben had been married for 10 years. For the last 5 years of their marriage, Kelly tried to get pregnant, unsuccessfully. And so when the couple gave up all attempts and stopped hoping for anything, the long-awaited pregnancy finally happened. And it happened at the most inopportune moment. Ben worked for a large international company, and he had just been offered a position as a head of a branch in another country. When they found out about the pregnancy, Kelly flatly refused to fly to another country for fear of a miscarriage. They decided that Ben would fly to work and Kelly would stay with her mother until the baby was born. For the remaining 8 months, Ben flew in once a month. He talked about the apartment where they would live, about his success at work, and how he missed his wife. Kelly's childbirth began unexpectedly. It turned out that the baby was intrauterine hypoxia and double cord entanglement. Doctors barely managed to resurrect him. A week later, the baby was transferred from the intensive care unit to the neonatal unit, and Kelly was able to be with him. She named their son Michael. They spent another month in the hospital before they were finally discharged, and of course the neurologist's diagnoses were disappointing. When they arrived home, Ben was home. He looked at Michael indifferently, and Kelly could not understand why. When she sat down to breastfeed Michael, Ben whispered that it was not necessary to accustom the child to the breast, and they should buy formula right away. To all of Kelly's objections that breastfeeding was better for the baby, Ben said that she should not get used to the baby because he had already decided to give him to a special care facility where specially trained staff know how to handle with such children. Kelly was shocked by what she had heard and could not understand how he could betray her child and give him up. In the meantime, Ben continued to say that this child was incurably ill and would never be normal, and they could have another healthy baby. During this conversation, Michael had had enough to eat, relaxed and fell asleep peacefully in Kelly's arms, with an angelic expression on his face. Kelly tried to change Ben's mind, to get him to at least look at their sweet baby. She said that everything was not so hopeless, that there were good doctors, rehabilitation programs. But Ben shouted indignantly that Kelly could not understand that he had a responsible job, and a child like Michael took all the time away from his parents. His shouts made the baby wake up and start crying. Ben finally got angry and said that Kelly had to choose either this little invalid or their marriage, because he wouldn't take him with him. Ben slammed the door and left. During the week, Kelly was waiting for Ben to change his mind, but nothing had changed. He ended up leaving the country, and Kelly and little Michael were left alone. Ben never called again, but he regularly transferred alimony, which was completely spent on medical treatment. Kelly was grateful to her mother, who supported and helped her in everything, and without her she would have surely despaired or gone crazy. Her mother accompanied Kelly and Michael to clinics, looking for the best neurologists, massage therapists. The boy showed such obvious progress that it gave the women the strength and enthusiasm to continue the fight. He was in a mild form of cerebral palsy and could walk, talk, and communicate. Only his movement coordination was slightly impaired. At this stage, Kelly had the idea to open a sewing workshop together with her friend Mary, who was a fashion designer. At first they sewed dresses and suits, and then they concentrated on wedding clothes, opened one of the first specialized ateliers in the city. Women bought high-quality fabrics and accessories and sewed exclusive, fashionable outfits for brides and their bridesmaids. This work gave Kelly the opportunity to take care of her son and pay for his treatment. She took most of the orders in advance, and she could always plan her time. Over time, Mary and Kelly hired several more seamstresses. Kelly was spending all her money on medical treatment, physical therapy, and massages for her son. It was only thanks to this Michael went to a regular school, studied well, and enjoyed simple pleasures, which most children with cerebral palsy unfortunately are deprived of. Ben had never called them, had never asked them how they were doing. He had just disappeared from their lives. And honestly, Kelly didn't care what happened to her ex-husband. Her heart and hands were busy taking care of her son and her work. And then one day, when Michael was 15, Kelly met Andrew at a rehabilitation resort for children with cerebral palsy. He brought his 10-year-old daughter, Mia, for a massage. Andrew's wife died shortly after giving birth, and he, like Kelly, fully devoted his life to his child. People say there are no chance meetings in life. Kelly and Andrew were like they were made for each other, and not just because they had sick children. They had common views on life. They loved the same music and books, the same dishes and smells. And the main thing in life for both Kelly and Andrew was family. Soon they got married and started living together. They sold their apartments and bought a spacious house outside the city, where they installed a special pool and exercise equipment for their children's daily workouts. Andrew's mother and Kelly's mother moved in with them. A few years later, Michael graduated from college and became a programmer, and Mia became dear to Kelly as her own daughter. She is still studying and dreams of becoming a fashion designer like Kelly.